Heart Machine is the legendary studio behind Hyper Light Drifter, my favorite game of all time, indie or otherwise. But Hyper Light Drifter was a two-dimensional isometric Metroidvania, which is much easier to perfect than a three-dimensional platforming adventure like Solar Ash. As I watched promotional footage, Solar Ash seemed too ambitious to hold a candle to its predecessor. And I was shockingly incorrect. In a world where almost all Metroidvanias are about killing stuff, in order to become a premier killing machine, Solar Ash thrives as a Metroidvania that's all about speed. Controlling the main character, Ray, is tantamount to piloting a vehicle. With a suite of moves that includes everything from boosting to double jumping, she's exceptionally fast and capable from the get-go. To fuel a device with which to keep a black hole, known as the Ultra Void, from devouring her home planet, she must leverage a series of temporal gadgets against a series of time-sensitive agility puzzles and hulking bosses. In the interest of clarity, the Ultra Void is a tangible space to access and is in no way a reflection of actual black holes. That players must complete these diverse combat challenges within a certain amount of time makes for a refreshing take on the Metroidvania genre that genuinely stands out from contemporaries, many of which avoid or limit temporal challenges. Taking place in the same universe as its predecessor, the world of Solar Ash is mad colorful. The Ultra Void's status as a veritable graveyard of planets has given the development team an excuse to make zones differ wildly from each other. The odd instance of Super Mario Galaxy gravity also makes for a stimulating environment to navigate. It's like Spyro, but fun. Upon starting the game, I noticed there were pink blobs everywhere, so I figured I should pick them up. You use the blobs to purchase health upgrades. You need 500 blobs for a second health node, 1,000 for a third, 2,000 for a fourth, and 3,000 for a fifth. For the most part, dying isn't a big deal in this game. The animation takes a while and you respawn at the checkpoint. Because pink blobs and shield kits are so common, and because dying in a game that prizes speed is so annoying, there's plenty of incentive to grab as many pink blobs as possible. If you prioritize finding these crystals, you'll have no shortage of blobs. The most ingenious mechanic regarding pink blobs and health is that whenever you kill a boss, you automatically lose a health node if you have more than one, so you never run out of incentive to earn more blobs. Losing health isn't the worst thing, but there's just enough incentive for you to invest in more health. The approach to health is nothing less than excellent design. All zones present their own collectible outfits, each of which has a distinct appearance and, more importantly, a tangibly helpful effect. None of them are better or worse than each other. My favorite might differ from yours, and your opinion of which one is most helpful will likely warp as you gain experience. Instead of finding an entire outfit at one location, you have to obtain individual pieces of gear to unlock full sets. I won't give away all of them or the means by which to find them, but if you're as big a fan of Heart Machine as I am, you'll certainly discover the strategy with minimal effort. If not, gear becomes easier to find near the end of the narrative. Finally, to find a piece of gear is to access an audio log from whichever crewmate wore the outfit originally. So if you don't feel like picking up codices you'll never read, you don't have to, because you'll earn them along with tangible upgrades. I definitely listened to the audio logs during my first of 4 playthroughs, but I wouldn't have found the logs without incentive to obtain gear. Whether you enjoy Solar Ash for the gameplay exclusively, or you'd like to unravel the narrative's mystery, pairing the gear with audio logs makes for great quality of life, and I'd like to see more games do this. No game about movement is complete without hazards to avoid on the way to goals. Most simply, there are black gooey gates that shock you on one side and open on the other. There are also mines everywhere, and occasional pits of death. Those are pretty self-explanatory. Sometimes you might also run into this tripophobic business. I don't know what else to call it, and I can't imagine the variable name it has in the code. Fun fact, the type of code is C# because that's the only language Unity employs at the time of recording. The toxic sludge is probably my favorite hazard because it taps into the aspect of time, which is a major theme not only in terms of gameplay but also narrative. When you touch the sludge, this gauge starts to fill, and you have to be off the sludge in a few seconds by the time the gauge is full. While the tripophobic business also requires temporal sensitivity, the toxic sludge is much more common by virtue of coding 70% of an entire zone. From the area that contains toxic sludge, you graduate to lava, which of course kills you instantly instead of providing a grace period. Exposure to lava at the beginning of the game would have been pants on head frustrating. The game's ability to ease players into lava, that is, the lava mechanic, was a thoughtful decision on the development team's part. Though it may look hazardous, this black goo is climbable. That Ray doesn't climb nearly as quickly as she skates is beside the point, since black goo helps to reach high places where gear pieces or pink crystals might lie. Climbing weaves strategy and discipline into an otherwise twitchy 3D platformer. Good old locked doors are also among the game's earliest puzzle objects. For the most part, they open vertical shortcuts, but other advantages can be behind them as well. These rails work pretty much exactly as they do in Sonic. Not only do they conveniently reduce 3D movement to a 2D context, but Ray can boost more frequently as she grinds them. These color-coded fungal nodes are super cool because they're essentially expiring keys. If you don't reach the color-coded door in time, you lose the key, and you have to return to the node. Not only do these keys open doors, but they also activate rails. Otherwise, hit each of these canisters within a couple seconds of hitting the first one to activate trampolines, and hit these mushrooms to summon rails in specific directions. Whatever zone you're in, each puzzle object works because it either enhances or challenges mobility. Similar to those of Hyper Light Drifter, Solar Ash's enemies owe their effectiveness to simplicity and direct telegraphing. The first and weakest enemy moves toward you and damages you by touching you, but there's also a simple charging enemy, as well as a sniping enemy that chills out on walls. For a game with such peripheral combat, these great enemies add to the challenge by making activities take longer in spite of the latter's time-sensitive nature. To access a zone's boss, you'll have to find and complete that zone's 3 to 5 black goo challenges. In case I butcher my explanation, I'll just show you what completing one looks like. When you hit the first node, you start the clock, and you have to reach the next node before time runs out, or you'll take damage from the goo and have to restart. Some nodes are grappleable as well as hittable. Grappling the eyeball at the end completes the challenge. On higher difficulties that are much more punishing in terms of time limits, a fundamental mechanic that's essential to completing black goo challenges as well as bosses is time slipping. Beyond slowing time, this critical ability temporarily increases the distance at which to grapple, and a negligible cooldown allows for frequent use. Boosting also helps, but that seems a little self-explanatory. You know how that works if you've played a video game. If not, I promise you'll figure it out. Anyway, these challenges are fun and unique. Not all games have to be about killing stuff. But speaking of which, bosses are similar to the challenges that precede them. A boss is a set of 3 especially difficult black goo challenges that take place across its massive body. The challenge itself is in motion, and the 3 challenges, of course, progress in terms of difficulty. These bosses are much more diverse than their uniform color scheme suggests. Skate, time slip, grapple, and even grind your way across bosses to their weak spots. Though bosses don't revolve around parrying and dodging a suite of attacks, the thrill is very much there, and when you land the killing blow, Disaster Piece will hit you with this. The goal of the game is to prevent the Ultra Void from destroying Ray's planet by activating the Starseed, the device hypothesized to destroy black holes. As creators of the Starseed, Ray and her fellow Void Runners seek to activate it from within the Ultra Void, thereby saving the planet. One of the reasons this game slaps me across the face into other dimensions so hard is because of the narrative's ultimate message. Beyond beating epic bosses and the absolute power trip of moving impossibly fast, Solar Ash is an incredible story about grief. While I won't spoil anything else, this game serves as a transformative experience for all players who feel that their planet is about to be destroyed. If you literally think the planet is going to explode, I don't think this game will help you very much. But if you feel you're about to lose something important, or more likely you already have, Solar Ash is the game for you and many others. I hate 3D platformers. I love Super Mario, but that's a different animal. That's consistently perfect because Nintendo. Solar Ash is the only game on the same level as Mario. In fact, it might be my favorite 3D platformer of all time. Play ukulele, bro, and spark the electric jester. I know and I will, but Solar Ash is good too. For a $40 game, the first playthrough isn't much longer than 8 hours, but an unlockable difficulty, several fun achievements, and small side objectives increase replay value significantly. As with Hyper Light Drifter, Heart Machine is good at investing in just enough features to keep all facets of a project consistently high quality. Just because it's not 100 hours doesn't mean I don't like it. I love the way it looks, the way it sounds, and the way it plays. I love the story it has to tell. It's a must-play for 3D platformer veterans and From Software weirdos alike. Don't grieve the same thing all the time, and I'll never see you again.